Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
And a wonderful morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo and broadcasting on TV1, part of the Capital Maharaja Group. And it really is a wonderful morning, but sometimes it can be a little bit contentious because all sorts of things are happening. And to discuss all sorts of things and the theme, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. To discuss that in a little bit more detail with a political twist to it is Mr. Shamindra Ferdinando, the news editor of that wonderful newspaper, The Island. Very good morning to you, Shamindra Ferdinando.
Good morning, Faraz.
It's wonderful having you here.
Thank you.
And in your lovely shirt, which is actually very nice. Now then, Shamindra, I thought we'd just start the day off with a message I received here. And it says, as Asia's best finance minister, Ravi K has been offered Zimbabwe's finance minister's post to revive the economy last evening. That's a joke, but it has some serious connotation, doesn't it? He got this award as the best finance minister in this part of the region, and not long after he had to resign his post. But he resigned his post ahead of a move to have a vote of no confidence against him. Now then, yesterday we have been treated to the news that there is a vote of no confidence planned against the Minister of Local Government, Mr. Mustapha, who will be here to defend his position on this program on Monday morning. He's in Malta at the moment. But now, Shamindra, my question to you is this. Why just Faisal Mustapha? You mean the others, all the other ministers are all doing their job properly, are they?
For us, there's no point in moving a no-faith motion against Mr. Faisal Mustapha.
Why?
Right, because although he is the minister in charge, he has nothing to do with it. It's beyond his control. The elections are continuously postponed by the Yahapalana government. It's Vikramasinghe Sirisena government. It's not Mr. Faisal Mustapha. Do you really think that he has power to to delay this process?
Yeah.
Do you think? So it's a joke. It's a joke. All these people know that the Yahapalana partners are scared to face the electorate.
But don't you think there's something?
Both parties.
Do you see something sinister in what I'm about to say? Now, the Bond Commission is sort of coming towards its end, and the report is due out, I believe, on the 8th of January.
They say 8th of January, right?
8th of December, I think.
Can't be. I'm not sure for us. People talk about this date, but I'm not sure.
Yes, it's around that time. It's in December. Now then, just ahead of that, right? You have to look at this in context. Just ahead of that, we had the fuel crisis. And I still maintain that this was a man-made crisis. There was no real crisis. There was no war going on. There was no challenge on the supply element. There were enough ships to hire.
But the government
and so on.
Tried to blame the former president for this.
Well, that's nothing new, and it's the worst sort of example, because the people know that this is all absolute rubbish, complete and utter rubbish. Just as much as they blame everything, in the last government, anything and everything, they had one explanation for everything. We won the war. People got fed up. You and I, and everybody else, by and large, the people of this country are liberal-minded, peace-loving people. They don't want to be killing each other and bombing each other out. They just want to get on and grab the opportunities that are available, give their children a half-decent chance at life, and carry on. And that was the case before some chap decided to form himself a little terrorist group which showed completely out of hand and complacency. That is what it was on the part of our leadership then. It was all complacency. Oh, this was a little irritant, a little mozzie, they could just go like that. You know, no. They were complacent. And that's why when it comes to the security of our country, we can't afford to be complacent. We just can't do that. But, you know, we had the fuel crisis. Then we had the troubles in Gintota, right?
Yes.
All these protests and so on. Was it designed to take the focus away from a very serious matter? Because once that one commission's report is out, it is only a fool who will believe that it's going to be clearing all and sundry. That report will essentially contain, very, very surely, judging by the evidence that we heard in public, right? It will contain very damaging information. Yeah. And that information will largely impact on the one political party, the United National Party. Right?
No, I don't agree with you, Faraz. I don't agree with you, because see, both political parties are equally responsible. Don't forget that there were two scams, and one took place in 2015 and the second one, the far bigger one in 2016.
That's correct.
So what happened during that period? During that period, on the advice of the UNP, the SLFP, the President dissolved the Parliament, prevented the presentation of that COPE report by Mr. Dugunasekara, right?
Correct.
So just see, there's a 13
month... In a way...
See, Faraz, we must be reasonable. Just don't blame one party. I think the entire Parliament has failed. Now today they are talking about the members of COPE receiving, those who had received calls from Arjuna Aloysius.
Yeah.
Then we had this situation. The head of the Public Finance Commission, Honorable Shamindra, appeared for a suspect, a person investigated by the Bond Commission. As an MP, as a lawyer, as a President of Council, he has every right to represent a person. That's okay.
That's fine.
But the issue is,
where is the ethics? Where are the ethics?
There's a problem for us.
This person appeared before Mr. Shamindra, when Mr. Shamindra was a member of COPE, this person came and gave evidence there.
No, actually, Shamindra is a member of the COPE in this Parliament, the 8th Parliament.
Yeah.
This person appeared before COPE during the previous Parliament.
Right.
That's headed by...
Yes, but however, as Mr. Dapula De Oliveira, that wonderful prosecutor, said at the commission, the last sitting of the commission, the problem is that report, that COPE 1 report, was annexed to the report of Mr. Sunil Handuneti, COPE 2. And that's the problem.
See, Faraz, that if not for the media, I am sure nothing would have happened.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Nothing would have happened. You know, the joint opposition initially did nothing. Right?
They tried to sweep it under the carpet. The Prime Minister himself said so many times to the press that there is no evidence of wrongdoing.
That's why they carried out that operation in 2016, because they were so confident. They were so confident. Right?
And they had to be confident. Come on. Some of those SMS messages sent by Steve Samuel, Arjuna Aloysius' so-called assistant, he sent a message reminding his boss Arjuna Aloysius to get the minutes of meeting from the PM, the Honourable PM, even though Steve Samuel forgot all about what PM stands for.
Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
We are reversing roles, right? Tell me, now, having appointed a presidential commission, after all this evidence, these shocking revelations before the commission, can SLFP vote with the UNP at the budget?
And that is what I was also going to discuss with you.
It's an interesting situation for us.
And it's also very interesting when you look at the fact that some backbenchers of the United National Party wanted to come in with black armbands and were persuaded not to. You see, you can see the frustration of these backbenchers of what happened, because they can see that people up there, that they can see with cold neutrality, if we examine it. Come on, let's forget all the rhetoric. If we look at this matter with absolute cold neutrality, you cannot but come to the conclusion that the public's monies was played around with by a select group of people and who made an awful lot of money. You know, I'm sure those executives at the Sri Lanka's top listed companies and top privately held companies must be thinking to themselves, what did we do wrong? They've been paying thousands and thousands of checks out each and every month, right? They employ so many people, they risk their capital, they take many risks. And if you examine their profit per employee, it is incomparable to the profits showed by the young Arjuna Aloysius' company. And to even begin to suggest that that chap did it all on his own in some solo scam is to dwell in another world, because it's not possible. He had patronage, he had political and administrative patronage, and he played the system.
Yes, that's why the state banks made available millions of rupees, billions actually, to Arjuna Aloysius, billions for us, right? So obvious, I mean, he had the backing, because I think the Bank of Ceylon committed 13 billion rupees. It was told.
Yes, how can they do that?
But it happened. It happened. I mean,
well,
I
exactly.
mean, for us, if you go through the COPE reports and the reports prepared by the Public Accounts Committee, you will realize, you know, it's over a period of time. The Parliament, we talk very big of, celebrating 70 years of democracy. Over a period of time, our lawmakers allowed this to happen. Now, this is the worst. But don't think that the bond scams happened in 2015 and 2016. Over a period of time, our lawmakers, major political parties, had been engaging various things, right? So, when you say some member of parliament, celebrated 40 years in parliament, or I mean, as an MP, that means he had received 6 or 7 duty-free car permits, right?
Yes.
How many foreign trips?
Gosh, countless foreign trips.
So it's a
40, 23, 22, and 4.
So it's always now.
And
I just want to tell you now. Actually, in a way, for us, if we move to some other, if we change the direction of this discussion, I as a Sri Lankan, I am happy. I think they should not have these elections at all. Who is going to pay? When they increase the number of local government members from 3,000
to 8,000
up to I think 8,000, double the number, who is going to pay? The taxpayers, right? So they'll have to tax big companies, they'll have to tax the ordinary people. So
but you know what is also bothersome and irksome and vexatious?
I think they can. I mean, just we don't need this system, because for more than 2 years, without local government bodies, without politicians, government officials ran the show.
Now, I'm very glad you said this, because yesterday somebody said this to us ahead of the news yesterday. And they said that, you know, with all this that's going on, they haven't been running the country. The country has run itself. And these politicians, all 225 of them in Parliament, I don't know what on earth they've been doing.
So
they've been talking to people involved in what has been described as possibly the greatest financial scam ever since independence, right? And now and then they've got I'm not sort of holding a candle to Mr. Mustapha at all. You know, right? Vote no confidence. What about if you permit me, Shamindra, to say this, Ranil Wickremesinghe, for his inaction in terms of the bond gate. I'm being very, very kind when I say only his inaction. He has been very much involved and in this entire process. And therefore, his failure to stop it and to put it right, there should be a debate of a vote of no confidence against him. What about Sagala Ratnayaka? He is, whether he likes it or not, in charge of law and order. And the police and so on comes under him. What's he been doing? Where's the delivery? He's not there because he's Ranil Wickremesinghe's mate. He's there because he's coming to the parliament and the people expect him to do a job, not to look after Mr. Wickremesinghe or his party. They want a job done. And what about his role in the complete and utter lack of action in these so-called investigations against corruption? They promised us, for heaven's sake, Shamindra, they promised us. They said, we are going to investigate. What are they doing? We've got some guys been remanded at Velikode for Sajin Vas for 4 or 5 months. Then you have Gamni Senra. The value of that corruption is far more than Mr. Vasugunawardana's, right? And then he's out in 3 days, and it's taken him God knows how long. Then we are told that he was hidden away and given protection by 2 members of parliament. One of them is Sagala Ratnayaka. What are you doing?
For us that's unreasonable, because Minister Ratnayaka denied that accusation.
Yeah, right. Well, he can deny it. Well, I'm repeating the allegation, right? And quite correctly, you've pointed out the balancing force that he's denied it. Shamindra, they also denied that anything happened at the bond. Yeah, they denied that, didn't they? Didn't Ranil say on the record? Didn't he say there is no evidence of wrongdoing?
For us, not Mr. Wickremesinghe, even. Now see, a couple of days back, I think on Monday or Tuesday, Deputy Minister Sujiva Senasinghe, he called a press conference at Sirikota. So that means it was authorized by the party. And he said there was nothing wrong with it, right?
Really? Nothing wrong? No, nothing wrong. 227 telephone calls.
And for us, he made a very serious accusation. What he said was that President Sirisena appointed the bond commission because he had received advice from a certain group, he did not name the group, that by destroying the UNP and the Rajapaksas, the president can secure a second term. Now that's a very serious allegation made by the Honorable Deputy Minister at Sirikota. Right? Now that allegation was denied by the UPFA General Secretary Amarveer yesterday. Now the issue is, it's beyond bond for us. It's beyond bond, right? Now obviously the 2 major parties in the coalition, they are fighting for the next president election.
But Mr. Senasinghe, I'm not going to call him honourable, right? Mr. Senasinghe is clutching at straws. Why doesn't he tell us? He said that he wrote a book. We know he did. Do you know when the book came out? July/August 2015. 62 telephone calls out of his 227 were exchanged. 62 was exchanged between him and Aloysius during the currency of the COPE 2, Handunetti's COPE, where Mr. Senasinghe was parachuted in after somebody else resigned. Why? Remember the footnotes? We'll discuss all that after this break. Don't go away. This is Newsline.
First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat.
And welcome back, and we're joined here by Mr. Shamindra Ferdinando. Now then, many questions. One of them is, one says here, there's so many, so I don't know which one to choose. Let's choose this. Why is the international community so silent with regards to the continued postponement of local elections? And they should also give their view with respect to the Bond Commission and to question why no arrests so far in spite of solid evidence.
For us, very good question. I'm thankful, right? The international community, you have to go back to 2014, right? The the Western powers engineered the former president's defeat and brought this administration. For one thing, they wanted a new constitution, right? They wanted a new constitution. Now they realize if the UMP and the SLP clash at local government election, because the president and the prime minister will have to lead the campaign, there's going to be major problem, right? So I'm telling you, the Western powers will not say anything about this matter. They will not. Obviously, it will. Because it's good for them. Because they want this system to continue until they somehow bring in constitutional amendments or a new constitution, right? Correct. That's because the previous government was for us the former U.S. Secretary of State. He was here, John Kerry. He said that the U.S. would provide all the support to find to help Sri Lanka stop corruption. That was a pledge. The British High Commission too made a similar pledge. But today, nothing, absolutely nothing. Now, if
we ask them, they'll say, "Oh, it's not a matter of policy. We cannot possibly engage ourselves in the internal affairs of any country." Yeah, right.
They will intervene only, to bring in a new constitution. So, see,
there's this message. I really must read it out, and I must respond, because otherwise they'll say that we're not partial. TV1 is talking of no confidence vote against the Prime Minister. Anyway, it's the Prime Minister who appeared under the at the Presidential Commission under oath. However, did TV1 think on these lines when Emar was in power and did not even apologize on the wrong appointments, including his brother-in-law, blah, 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 and incurring losses more than the bonds can? Excuse me, I'd just like to point it out that it is under the watch of President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was elected originally with a slim majority, who apparently did a deal and so on. Anyway, forget all that.
That's very unfair.
One moment. I know, I was just saying, forget about that. Under President Rajapaksa, this network was blamed, called traitors, all sorts of names. We were stoned, we were even Claymore bombed. We continued to report. And let's not forget that one of our presenters, the late Lasantha Wickramatunge, the late because he lost his life in the pursuit of the truth. That happened under whom? You'll know the question. You'll know the answer to that. It happened in 2009. I wonder who the president was. So please, we've not needed a Right to Information Act or anything of the sort. And nor have you actually, Shamindra Ferdinando. You've continued to report, and so have we. We didn't need, even though in the most extreme and trying conditions, we have continued to report. So it makes pub talk to say that we have only suddenly come about now. Absolute nonsense, and I cannot agree. Shamindra Ferdinando.
Are you angry with me too?
No, I'm not, but I do resent it, right? I've got 2 extra bits in my body, yeah, because somebody decided to shoot me. Yeah? Sri Lanka was the 4th most dangerous place on earth to be practicing the job that we want to do. There's no other job that comes under so much of fire. At every point, these politicians and their lackeys tend to blame the media, the media, the media, the media. That is our job, and we will continue to do that. We will continue to report and bring out the truth for the benefit of the public. Now, Mr. Shamindra Ferdinando, tell me, why only a no confidence motion against this person? Ravi K. resigned, and he went away and sits in the back benches with an office in Temple Trees and so on. That's another point. Right? Why not? Why can't we have a vote of no confidence against Sagala Ratnayaka? What are the police doing? Where are these investigations? What's happening to Jintata?
I think for us, the people of this country, we have lost confidence in the parliament. It's not only an individual. It's not fair to say one minister, but all major political parties, all of them, all of them have failed. They have succeeded, right? They have succeeded in few things, like perks and privileges. Now, recently we carried a photograph of Honorable Health Minister in Russia visiting Moscow for some WHO event with his wife. Yeah. His wife was there as his private secretary. Right. So see, that's one example. So I mean, they have a system. Whether they are in power or opposition, now this government, this parliament, now the joint opposition blame Mr. Karunanayaka, the Prime Minister, for everything. But when they had the opportunity to refuse additional 100,000 rupees
allowance for themselves,
a monthly allowance, yeah, they accepted. Nobody said no. That's right. No MP refused to accept duty-free car permit, saying, you know, the people are suffering, there's a drought.
No one, right? Not one.
So for us, it's a game, right? I am telling you, actually the real opposition in this country is the media. I mean a section of the media. Yeah. The members of parliament representing all political parties are having a good time. That's so. I mean, people have just big stories about claims, accusations about Arjuna Aloysius having links with these members.
Yeah. You know,
for us,
yeah,
our lawmakers operate with the underworld, right? With the underworld. Chairman of a political party robbed that bank, Thai bank.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the
like
allegation.
That, you know, not an allegation. They got the money transferred from Thailand to Colombo.
In Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan. Sorry. So you will realize whatever happens outside, drought or any other calamity, the lawmakers are okay. I mean, they are set for life, no? They are set for life. Now see, you take, I am telling you, we don't need local government bodies, right?
Actually, shall we just...
Do we need provincial councils? Now, they dissolved. They had to have elections for Sabaragamu, I think Sabaragamu.
Why can't we just have some elections and not others whilst this battle is going on in court?
I don't know. I think for us, even if you bring in a new government...
But Shamindra, very quickly I want to say this, because somebody said this to me yesterday. He said this country is completely bonkers. He said, we have the Ministry of Finance, you know, it's not like handing over the little tea shop around the corner of Braybrook Place to someone. It's like handing over the treasury.
Yes.
That was handed over to one person, led by that ministry, Ranil Wickremesinghe. Mr. Karunanayaka had the customs and so on. Mr. Hashim has public enterprise and the state banks and so on there. And then you'll know this better, at the UN. Who represented Sri Lanka at the UN? Is the minister in charge of what?
That Mr. Wickremesinghe's deputy minister, Dr. Harsha. Not at UN, that's Geneva.
At Geneva, sorry.
Yeah. Dr. Harsha De Silva.
Yeah. What's he doing there? Why do we have a foreign minister? Why do we have a foreign minister? Why do we have ministers in charge of their reconciliation and so on?
Thank
and
you.
Human rights?
I just want to tell you, right now, recently, the British Parliament was told that the Sri Lankan army did not kill 40,000.
Exactly.
Right?
And what did they say?
You know, when we raised that issue at the cabinet media briefing, the cabinet spokesperson, Minister Dayasri Jayasekara, he admitted that the cabinet never discussed that issue for 5 weeks.
How can they discuss anything of any importance when they're all busy cutting deals and doing all sorts of jolly things and trying to hide the bond thing under this very thick carpet, and the fuel crisis and the coal crisis? And for heaven's sake, every single national procurement in this country since January 2015 has had some element of controversy, and they are not the making of the media. These are valid points. Every single one. You think about it. The largest procurement is not oil. As I've told you before, it is the raising of money for this government. That's why the bond matter is so very, very important. Let's not forget that. It's cost us so much of money. Now then, if you're in the mood for partying, today at our Style Studios is 90s night. And Yes FM 101, they certainly know how to do it in style. And come along, because you know we must put a smile on our faces from time to time, shouldn't we?
To be inspired of Bond.
I just want to make this very, very clear. This is the kind of precautions that we take here at News First, and we take it very, very seriously indeed. All stories, we have documentary evidence. Before it goes on air as well, we have 3 President's Council giving their opinion on these stories, and additionally, we have experienced journalists in within our team who are legal officers. Believe me when I give you this assurance that not all the stories that we get are automatically taken. We check them for their veracity, and we check everything before it comes on air. Because at the end of the day, we stand by each and every story that we've taken. On that note, Shamindra Ferdinando, thank you very much for upholding the true values of journalism and your service to the public. Thank you very much, Shamindra Ferdinando. And that's the way it was on Newsline today, on Friday, the 24th of November 2017. Take care. God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.